Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing this afternoon? My name is Michaela, and I'm from Paint Fixation in Middleburg, Florida, and I am live from my garage. For those of you that know me, tonight is the night I'm going to be spraying the buffet with the high gloss clear coat. But I decided that I wanted to show y'all how I put my gun together and prepare everything for getting it ready to spray. I'm pretty sure I'm live on my page. When you come on, say hello. Where are my comments? Hang on. I'm going to put a comment in here for my website. Okay, paint fixation. Okay, so I guess I'm live on my page. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is show y'all the kind of spray gun that I use, how I put it together, and why I use the needles that I use. And then we're going to walk over to the buffet and spray it. Okay? It's a little bit windy. I'm hoping I won't regret it. But the humidity is pretty good, so I think it's going to be a good night. If you are new to my page, welcome. Please let me know that you're here. Say hello. Hi, Cindy. I know it's not Wednesday evening or 7. Thank you, Cindy. But tomorrow is the night before Thanksgiving, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing some cooking, so I didn't want to not get this done. And of course, I had to go shopping today for food, and so it seems like every time I try and do this early, it doesn't work. So we're going to try and get this done tonight, and then I'm going to just explain to you some of the things that I'm going to be doing with those other pieces that I'm working on. If you don't know me, I am a Dixie Belle premier retailer, and I have 2 locations locally here in Middleburg, one in Orange Park, one in Fleming Island. The Fleming Island location is Junk in the Trunk, and the Orange Park location is Antiques for You. So if you're looking for Dixie Belle paint products, that's where you can get them locally. Or you can visit my website and you can get them drop shipped to your home. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to tilt the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to explain to you. If you can't hear me, there's people doing yard work and stuff, so I apologize for that, but I can't spray in the house. So you just let me know if you need me to adjust the lighting or anything, because I'm going to be moving around a lot with the camera to get things done. Okay, so I'm going to tilt you down. And I'm going to explain as I'm doing this. Let me back this up a little bit. There we go. So the gun that I use is an Earlex 5500. It's got a metal container with a, it's got a coat inside, makes it super easy to clean. It has a metal gun. Okay, it is a little bit on the heavy side, so if you have bad wrist or anything, this might not be the gun for you. A few things that you need to make sure are working properly. You have to make sure that this hole here is open. Oops, let me see if I can get it on the camera. So this hole here, the first gun that was sent to me, this was actually a manufacturing defect and it was closed. So this is imperative for the paint to actually come out of the gun, okay? So you want to make sure that's clear. It comes with a cleaning kit, and this is just a bag that I put mine in, but it comes with everything that you need to clean it. There's all brushes of all different sizes. There's grease for the parts that need greasing after use. Comes with a brush, and these are wonderful for cleaning your gun, okay? Again, it's so easy to clean it, and I wish that I could spray and then show y'all cleaning, but maybe I'll do that on a different video so that you can see how I clean it. Okay, but today I'm going to show you how I put it together. Okay, so I'm going to be using Dixie Belle's High Gloss Clear Coat. This does not need to be watered down. Okay, this one sprays really nicely just like it is, so I won't be having to water this down. Now for the needles. You have different size needles, and if you can see, these are 2 different sizes. I don't know if the camera's going to focus on these. This is a 2.0 and this is a 1.5. I use the 1.5, this one, for the chalk paint, the Dixie Belle paint, and I use this one for my clear coats. It's my preference. Each one comes with this little nozzle, and you want to make sure you use the correct one. If you can tell, it has the numbers on them. This is a 2.0, and you can see that the hole is a little smaller. Hey, Wendy! The hole is smaller than the 1.5, okay? And then I use these because it sprays the clear coat better. So I use the 2.0 for doing clear coat, okay? So in order to put this together, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your needle in the gun, okay? So there's a little area back here. It's very easy. You just slide it in. It goes through the gun. Do you see that down there? And then it comes out the front, just like that. See it? Okay. Then you put the spring. There's a spring on it, and you put that on. Okay. And this is what helps to regulate your spray pattern, how much paint comes out. Then you're going to put on this little locking mechanism, and this is also this. You're going to have to give it some pressure, and you're going to push it in as you turn it. Okay. And after it catches, you can let go. And this is what you will turn to make your spray pattern either wider or more narrow. And I'll show you that when we go to do it. Then we're going to come to the front. Now, I kind of messed mine up a little bit. Don't do what I did. I had a problem getting off one of the pieces before, and I grabbed this brass piece here, and I grabbed it too hard, and so it's a little off. I can still use the gun, but it is a little frustrating sometimes because the spray pattern isn't exactly perfect, but I've learned to adjust. And you'll see when I go to put this on what I mean. Hey, Danny. Hey. Okay, and so the next thing you're going to put on is your correct size. Now, this one's a 1.5, so I don't want to use that one. So I'm going to go over here and get my 2. This goes on next. And I do it with I tighten it down with my fingers first. And then it comes with this little tool here that you use to tighten it down. And you just push it down and give it just a hand tight, okay? The next thing that goes on is this spring. This is what does your spray pattern, whether it's up and down, side to side, or a circle. And this is the one part that doesn't work as good on mine because when I turned the brass fitting, it turned a little bit and I can't turn it back. And so my spray patterns are a little bit off, but I know they're off, so they're easy to fix. And this is the next thing. This is actually the nozzle that turns, and this is where your spray pattern is side to side, circle, or up and down, okay? And it has little notches. Let me see if I can get this in here close enough for y'all. All right, so let me take this back out, this piece here. So do you see this notch right here? There's a notch there. Let me see if I can get this one to show up on the camera. And there's a notch right here. And this has 2, do you see this little piece right here by my finger? Right there. And then there's one on that side over there by my thumb. This is lined up. This gets lined up with, I'm trying to do this on the camera, right? Just like that. See how it just went in there? So you want to line those up correctly. If those aren't lined up, your gun will not work the way it's supposed to. Then after those are all put in, this has little indentations like a golf ball. And do you see the bumps on here? You're going to line this up with the way you want your spray pattern to go. So I'm going to put mine like this. Now you can, after you get your gun together, this can be turned, but because mine is tight from my little issue I had with it, mine doesn't work exactly like it's supposed to, but so I usually keep mine at an angle for now. I should have showed you. I do have another one that this part works, but it's the one that's defect down here. Then this I don't know what you would call this. So this just sets down. Then you take the cap, you lay it on top, and you tighten the whole thing down. And this tightens all this down that you just put in. Okay. just like that. And mine's a little tight. Like I said, so this piece should move freely on yours, but mine is tight because I used the pliers and I shouldn't have. So this one, on a gun that works properly, this piece moves freely. With mine, I have to really work at it, but that's why I leave it on this position. So then after we get, so now the gun, this should move. This is your trigger. So now our gun's put together. Now we're going to put our product in. So the first thing that I do when I'm mixing, okay, if I'm mixing paint, so like later on I'm going to be using the new Gray Boss. This is the new Gray Boss. If you haven't seen it yet, this is for like our reds, dark blues. Anytime you're going to be doing a color that needs either odor blocking or tannin blocker, but you're going over it with a dark color, this is the newest Boss. It is going to be needing to be watered down in order to use it. Now, don't use much water, but it does need to be thinned a little bit. So in that case, I would put it in here first and thin it and make sure it's the correct consistency, or if I'm using paint. And then I will strain it as it goes into the container, into the paint pot. But I'm not going to water down my clear coat. So I'm just going to strain it right into. I always strain it. Now I can shake. Normally you wouldn't want to shake. You would just stir. But I can shake in this container because the hole at the top is so small that it basically pops the bubbles as it comes out. Now I'm probably just going to put this whole thing in here because that buffet is pretty big. Anything I don't use, I'll just put back in here because it's all been strained. But I strain all of my top coats even if I don't spray them. That's just something I do. And if you have questions, please ask them. If you're watching on the replay, which probably most people will be doing because this is not my regular night. Usually I'm here Wednesday nights at 7, but this is just a special week. Okay. And then when you put your gun on, you have these right here, and this is your lock. Okay, so this locks it. So you want to put it on, turn it. Okay, so it's locked. So you unlock it to the left, slide it on, and then this comes this way, and that locks it. Okay, so now it's locked in. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the actual piece I'm working on. All right, so here we go. I don't want to make y'all dizzy, but, you know, we got to move. All right, so here's the buffet that I'm done painting. This is Caviar. Hopefully the neighbors can't hear me. So this is Caviar and Walnut No Paint Gel Stain on the top. And I'm going to be painting the whole thing with the high gloss clear. I'm going to put y'all right over here. Okay. And I'm hoping that I've got the lighting good. Can y'all see that okay? Let me lower this down just a smidge. And I apologize if this isn't the perfect video, but now let me go get my machine. So this is the other part. This is the part that makes it go. This machine does not need a separate compressor. That's one thing that endeared me to it. And so you're going to take your hose and it goes into the back of your gun, just like that. You want it nice and tight. What will happen is if you have this hooked up and you're spraying and I know this from experience, if this pops out while you're spraying, you'll get drips. I did that when I painted my husband's car a couple weeks ago. I was painting his car. This popped out, so he's got a little drip mark on the back of his car because I didn't feel like cleaning it because we were just trying to make it look less gross. Now let me plug this in. Let me see. I've got my lights plugged in here. Let me see. Can y'all still? I think y'all can still see. I didn't plan this out very good. All right. Check the lighting. Can y'all still see that okay? For those of you that are still here. Okay. I think it's okay. It's hard to see. Okay. So the first thing that I do when I spray anything is I test it first. Okay. I always test it on a piece of wood or cardboard. Okay. So I'm going to turn the gun on. Hey, Cindy, when I turn the gun on, it's going to be loud. Let me back y'all up just a little bit. Since I unplugged that light, I can't believe how dark it gets so soon now. That better? I think that's better. This is a Earlex 5500. If you didn't catch the beginning, if you catch the beginning of the video, I show how I put it together. Amber, welcome. Okay, so I am going to turn my gun on, and then I'm going to show you how I check the spray pattern, and then we're going to get right to it. I've already wiped it down. I wiped it down with some mineral spirits just to make sure everything was smooth and clean, especially with, and this is no pain gel stain on top. You need to wait at least 3 to 5 days before you put any water-based top coat on this. I've waited more than that just because of circumstances with this weekend was my daughter's birthday. We had all the kids over. So it's been about 6 days since I put the last coat on here. I am very particular about how long I wait when I'm using the no pain gel. So any oil-based product, I like to wait at least 5 days. I did my kitchen cabinets years ago with another manufacturer's product, which was also like a gel stain, and little parts of it where there was a little bit more gel stain built up, it gets cloudy. So if you put a water-based top coat onto an oil-based stain, you really need to make sure it's in the curing process, not just dry to the touch. Okay, it's usually dry to the touch within a day or two, depending on how thick of a layer that you put on, but you want to wait at least 5 days. Okay, all right, that's just my personal experience. I have heard people top coat it in 3 days, but I don't, because I'm not going to risk having to repeat the whole process all over again. So this is going to be loud, but I'm going to try and show y'all without making too much of a mess how I adjust. So this is how I adjust the spray. Okay, so this, when I off camera, I'll have to, because I don't have 3 hands, but this is how I'm going to adjust the spray. So you're going to turn it, when you turn it clockwise, you are making the dots smaller, and when you turn it counterclockwise, you're making the dots bigger. Because basically when you're spraying paint, it is dots, and the finer the dots, the more even. And so this is how you adjust it on this gun. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when after I put it all together. The first thing I do is I just test it. Okay, so you see how much is coming out? I don't really want it that much. Okay, so I'm going to go clockwise just a little bit, and I'm going to check it again. Okay, so that's more like what I want it to look like. Okay, you see that? I'll turn it over. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the side over here. Let me lower y'all down just a little bit so you can see the side. There we go. Normally I would wear a mask, but I'm outside and I'm only doing the one piece, so it'll be good. When you're spraying, you want to always keep your arm straight. You don't want to go like this. So you don't want to, you don't want to go back and forth like this. You want to go back and forth. Okay, if you go like this, you're going to get more paint on each side than in the middle. So in the middle more than each side. So you want to make sure that you go back and not like this. Okay? I'm going to lower this down just a little bit more. Okay? So I'm going to try and go all the way across. that's it. You see it? Isn't it pretty that low? So of course it's still wet. And this is going to take more than one coat. I like to keep this as close to me as I can so that my tube doesn't get too tight. Alright, so that is it. I'm going to wait for this to dry. And then after it dries, I'll put on a second coat. And I'll go through and I'll check for drips. If there's any drips, I'll take a brush and I'll just kind of grab it with the brush. I don't really see any drips right now. I don't see any drips on it. But I'll check it closer just to make sure. You can catch the drips with the brush, and then you can do your second coat. So don't be afraid of spraying, okay? That's how quick it is. It would take me an hour to do that by hand. I also sprayed that with the Caviar. It took 2 coats to spray it with the Caviar, and it's a beautiful finish. I used a 220 grit sanding sponge from Dixie Belle just to knock off any of the paint before I sprayed. I always sand in between all my layers. So actually I probably will do a 220 on this one. After it dries, I'll go over with the 220, just make sure there's not any nubbies on it. And then after that, I'll put my second coat on. So if I have time tomorrow night, I am going to show y'all, I have a drawer. Let me show y'all this drawer. Let's see if I can get it out of here. I have this drawer from this piece that had this all over it. And I left this side here. I want to show y'all how I got it off. I used my heat gun and it worked so good. I still need to clean it up. I'll do some sanding. I'll get some mineral spirits and wipe it down. But I'm going to show you guys that tomorrow if I have time. Thank you, Cindy. And then I've got a few other pieces that I've been working on that I'll try and I probably so I don't know. We'll see how it goes tomorrow with being Thanksgiving Eve. We're not doing a whole lot. We're just actually doing a roast. We're not even doing a turkey. But I wanted to get this done. I've been waiting to do this for so long. But I know that you guys have things to do, and I appreciate you joining me. If you're new, please say hello. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions, I know I kind of went fast. I'm losing light. I mean, it's not even after, it's just a little after 4 o'clock, and I'm already losing light. I know you can see the sun back there. That's really the sun going down. So I literally have like a half an hour to work out here before it gets too dark. But thank you for joining me, and leave the questions. I will answer your questions. I promise. Okay? So you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving Day and a beautiful weekend if I don't see you before then. I hope to, because I really want to get these pieces finished. Anyway, I love you all. God bless, and thank you so much for being here. Bye.